Hey there, hope you're having a fantastic day in your neck of the woods. Thank you so kindly for joining us once again, folks, as we continue to talk about this all new upcoming edition of Resident Evil 3. So, as of this recording, Gamescom has come and gone. Well, not necessarily, I mean, it's still happening, but as far as announcements are concerned, Capcom didn't pull that curtain back on either this all new upcoming edition of Resident Evil 3 or Resident Evil 8. Kind of sucks. But hey, that's the reality of the situation. However, with that said, it's not all doom and gloom right now because we know that Capcom is going to be at the Tokyo Game Show. They're going to be at the Tokyo Game Show, and folks, that could very well be that time and place where Capcom says, hey, yeah, we're focusing right now, sure, on Monster Hunter World Iceborne. But in addition to that, we have one more thing to show you. Lights dim, stars. You know what I mean? That very well could be a possibility. But I don't want to come on here and get everyone's hopes up because if we go back to Capcom's financial presentation that they had earlier this year, you will see that there is nothing coming out other than Monster Hunter World Iceborne all the way from now up until March 2020. So there will be no new games from Capcom other than Monster Hunter World Iceborne, according to Capcom's financial presentation. Now, of course, this doesn't rule out the possibility of them kind of teasing something in a way that makes sense, but as far as something actually hitting the store shelves anytime soon in regards to Resident Evil or really anything else for that matter, it's just not in the cards right now. Now, in addition to the Tokyo Game Show, Capcom is also holding a Resident Evil event in September. Now, I don't want to get anyone's hopes up here, but it's a Resident Evil event. You know what I mean? It's a Resident Evil event. Now, as for what they're showcasing at that Resident Evil event, it seems like it's going to focus on this all-new edition of Resident Evil 2 and Devil May Cry, and in addition to that, the RE engine. So it seems like it's an event focused on, hey, this is how we did it, and we're going to show you kind of how we did it, as opposed to like, hey, tune in because we have a major announcement to make. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen there. You know, that very well could be that time and place where Capcom says, hey, it's time. You know what I mean? But is it all that plausible? Not necessarily, knowing what we know, at least as of this recording, folks. So I think at this point we're just going to ultimately have to play the waiting game. We're ultimately going to have a lot of patience because obviously Capcom, they are focusing on the future. And they are focusing on what's next. And we know as of this recording that they have numerous titles in development right now using the RE engine. And those numerous titles could very well be Resident Evil 8, could very well be this all-new upcoming edition of Resident Evil 3, could very well be a Dino Crisis remake. But again, we're going to have to continue to push really hard and really strong here in these quiet times to remind Capcom that, hey, this is something that we are indeed still clamoring for, this all-new upcoming edition of Resident Evil 3, just to kind of be on the safe side. Because again, if we assume that it's happening and Capcom isn't actually developing this all-new upcoming edition of Resident Evil 3, well, then we're not going to get anywhere. You know what I mean? So let's continue to do that. Let's continue to show Capcom our support by hitting that like button on this video. And folks, I'll break back in once we have more word, hopefully sooner rather than later, in regards to this all-new upcoming edition of Resident Evil 3. Take care.